Hello guys, great Thursday everyone. Welcome back to my channel. This is Miss Jaydee once again for another episode of our daily stock market insights. And so far, I'm really inspired to do these videos every single day because I feel that our community is starting to grow. People are dropping their comments of thank you and the requests. So I really appreciate those. That is why I am prioritizing your requests today. So feel free to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you're always updated whenever I have new videos, which happens every single day. Okay, so let's get started. I want to talk about first the index and then the requests that you guys have dropped in the comment section. So here so far, we still had a red. Well, the other day we had green, but today we had red. But I would still like to stick to what I made yesterday. Okay, so we are still technically respecting this uptrend channel for our index. So just probably take note of that and use that as your reference. So using the horizontal view, you have your resistance somewhere at the area where it actually turned red today. So this used to be a resistance here, and that's why it's somehow within this area you are already experiencing some rejection. So just be mindful of that in case it drops again. Chances are it will just respect this, and probably a breakout could happen if we are able to break the 7,400 level. So just a disclaimer, guys, we have a different set of profiles here. Okay, I'm more of a mid to long term holder, and once in a while I do engage in stocks with a mindset of position trading. So just in case we have different views on things, just practice judgment. Okay, practice judgment. If you see value in the things I say, okay, you may apply that. Otherwise, just use this for entertainment purposes. Okay, all right, so let me talk about the first stock. Let me just enable the Bollinger Band because I'm using that. First is AGI, and let's find out. Okay, AGI, well, there's 2.9 million on foreign buying. No news. But you know what? 28 days ago, they had share buyback update. Let's find out what that was. Because normally, when a company does a share buyback, that simply means that they feel that the price of their stocks or their stock is very cheap, and they know the potential growth of their business anyway. That's why they're buying it back. So this happened on the 20th of January. When was that? So it was somewhere here. Okay, hold on. 20th of January. January 20. Jan 20. Somewhere here. So around the same price pala, no? They did a buyback around the same area. So we are to, let's see, on a weekly chart, how far are we from the potential increase of the stock? No wonder, right? Because the stock also dropped significantly and looks like it is starting to recover. Although on a weekly chart, so it increased, went sideways, and right now it's starting to push the price even higher on a weekly chart. So that could also mean that we could start this uptrend, could be right. But in a daily chart, you still have some rejection that's happening. So try to observe your threshold here. Probably on a daily chart is uh, this MA20 has to be respected. Otherwise, when it drops, the next possible drop I'm looking at is 1222. So you're very near that MA20, and normally if the momentum is really high, the chances are that MA20 line will act as a bounce level. And in some occasions, there's a slight overshoot. See that? See this one too? That could also mean that. However, at the moment, if you are still considering to enter in this stock, I say not the perfect entry because it has already rallied, it has already increased. But for those people who are already in a position and are considering to enter, then find those bounce levels. So probably the MA20, the 1222, those could be your bounce areas to possible bounce levels to monitor. But at this point, this is already at the expensive side, and people must have been, they must have been taking profit. That's why you see red already. And oh, see this? Price was moving higher, but your RSI is already declining. So that's the opposite. It's the bearish divergence already. And I will not be surprised because it has already rallied and people are taking profit. So just watch out for MA20 level and the 1222 area as possible area of bounce. Next is GSMI. Okay, so this is a good green engulfing candlestick. So that's a bullish candlestick there. um, Easily looking at it, I can already spot a support area. So we don't really know if the next day it'll continue to rally to the upside, or just in case the market gives you a chance, at least you have some key levels to monitor. So this 107 here is a key level to check. If a price drops, that area could be established, or that could establish, I mean, a support in that area. And why am I saying that? So I'm sure a lot of you are already experts, but for those people watching this and are starting to learn the stock market, a support area is a level where each time that price hits that level, there's a bounce that's happening. And it has to be multiple times. Sometimes two attempts would be already be considered as a support. But the more incidents, or the more days you hit that, then that could mean a stronger support. Here in this case, you have 4 days. One, two, even if that's just a wick that still touched it. Three, four. Now, if you look to the left, you also had some consolidation here, and then previous resistance. That's your Q as well. If that was your resistance, a resistance like your ceiling, each time price hits that level, there's a rejection. It drops. So this used to be a resistance, and this one too. So that means this indeed is a potential support. And what's good about the story today is that we ended green, so that's a bullish candlestick. So chances are, if the coast is clear, then we could easily rally to the upside. But there are some considerations here. First is you have your MA20 nearby. So this is the channel that the stock is respecting. While it was dropping right here, each time it gets near in this imaginary line that I placed there, each time that level is hit, there's a rejection. So this is your declining resistance, and this is your support. So if we are able to break out of that, ideally we get past, but we end higher than this MA20. See that? Because the line I created is much lower than the MA20, but it is within the area. So best is if it breaks out of that and it manages to end above the MA20, then that's a good indication that we are going to continue in our movement going up. Okay. Just take note though that my confidence level, or my conviction that this stock is indeed going to move higher, is on the 50-50. Reason being is there is not much volume. So chances are there's just a few. Tama nga, 45 lang. There's just a few people who must have entered right here, pushed the price higher, and then who knows, tomorrow they could be taking profit. Ipag-gap up nila yan. Because some people would be interested. Tapos, the entire sentiment, probably second half, pwedeng mag-take profit. That's a possibility. But it's still very early to say that. Yun lang ang guidance ko. because there's not much volume. Chances are when stock goes up, it will not be sustained. It will pull back first. But at least, the support area is just very near. 107 is what I see. ACEN, again, another popular stock. We had a gap up, so that's nice. Nice, 2.27 million on 2.27% in increase. But you have your MA20 line here. At the moment, let's just use MA20 as your nearest resistance. Yeah, actually dito, slightly higher pa nga eh. Kasi this is your resistance. Too low naman to. Just use your MA20. It's within the range, so in between kasi there's this resistance and then there's this support, but it's very, very near. So if that level gets hit, try to observe if there's a rejection happening. So that means it's not yet ready to recover. The overall, looking at what I see, the sentiment is still downwards, right? And if this is going to be your trigger point to enter, I'd say not yet. Yeah, because if it is going to increase and only to find out it gets rejected at 9:30, your profitable your risk to reward ratio is just very small. This one is 3% versus possibility of it dropping again, that's 10%. See the difference? So try to observe. But right now, I'm just going to plot a support at the same area. So it's up to you if you would like to take the breakout play, whereby you will wait for it to break out of MA20 before you enter, or would you like to test this support first before entering? But the message here is where it is at right now. This is an area I will not take action yet. Okay, I hope that makes sense. MREIT. MREIT, we had a green but very minimal. This is your support, and I will still plot it as our support area because overall, this is not yet, this has not officially broken. This has not broken the downward channel. This is your downward, your resistance in a downtrend. See that? Each time it gets hit, there's a rejection happening. So this one too. So each time it drops up to this level, there's recovery a little bit, but it drops again. That gets respected. So let's say you have one more candlestick above this line I created, then that's a better picture. Then the next thing to watch out for, of course, is the MA20 line. And then you can go from there. We can observe again the movement right after that because we might see patterns formed in the succeeding days. But right now, based on the candlesticks I see, we are still in a downtrend, respecting this downward movement. And then the nearest support is where you had this previously, where you had consolidation. Then that could also be tested. So I think that's enough guidance there. There's foreign selling pa. Oh. SCC, SCC, nice one. It filled this gap, ano? There was a gap before, and it managed to fill that. At the moment, I'd say this is a breakout of this resistance over here. Yeah, there was a resistance right there, and I think this is a breakout. So normally when a breakout happens, a day or two, or sometimes within the day, it continues, touches this, and sometimes it goes sideways first before it continues again. So two things. We don't know if it is going to give us an opportunity intraday to touch the 2621. But for me, I already consider this as a breakout of the resistance. And the resistance used to be 2621. And chances are, if there's really a buying sentiment, it is going to push a little higher and then retest. So your new support now, which was previously your resistance, is 2621. And one thing that I liked about the chart here is there's volume. as we increase. So your call. If you anywhere between 26.21 to 26.85, you can perform momentum trade there. So this type of movement falls under the category of momentum trading because we are moving higher. There's bullish movement and you're riding it, but it's up to you on how you would manage the situation. Some would just use intraday trade because anything can happen, but they're just riding the sentiment of the market, which is really a buying. This is a lot of buying sentiment happening right now, except for foreign. I can say foreign selling. Interesting. Converge. Converge, you had a gap up. So that's good. Pwedeng recovery na to, no? But there's ito. Right now, your short-term resistance is right at the MA20 line. Used to be, see that? Used to have a resistance right there. Nag-breakdown lang and then it's recovering. So I think perfect move here, my take is allow it to break out of that MA20 line. Then that already is a breakout of the downward movement of this stock. Kasi this is your lower high, so lower low, and then when it moves up, it created a lower high. So that was the channel it was respecting. So it would be great if you wait for it to break out first before you make that move. Anyway, the price difference is just very minimal, and then you're still at a very cheap level. Kita mo? Still at a very cheap level. Next is GMA7. GMA7, we had a red, and we're moving below the MA20 line. So that could mean even if there was an increase the other day, posibleng dead cat bounce in tawag dyan. When it bounced, it's a little lower than the previous high over here. So it might continue the downward movement as well. So the next possible support I am looking at would be ito. Let's use this first. First line mo is here. Second line mo is here. There you go. Ay, that one. Because this used to be resistance, 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 and then one lower, one level lower is your support, support. So it might give us a drop and challenge this first level, which is 1409. If that gets broken, next area it'll potentially drop up to would be 13.61. So still on the bearish sentiment on my side. SGP, ay, bakit? What happened? I can't see it. Why can't I see it? Let's try 2 hour chart. Wala. What is happening here? Wala talaga, no? I don't know. Oh, there you go. It has to be in a faster time frame. In the short term, still on a downward movement. See overall at a glance, it's really moving downwards. So I'm plotting 1241. 1241 here. There's a slight overshoot above, but no volume still. There's not much volume. It's just within the average. Slight increase in the volume though, there is, but um, not that significant. So baka it will just continue to, parang ganito, it's just a slight overshoot. So that's something we need to watch out for. There's also foreign selling, so chances are the selling sentiment is not over. 1241 for me is the still the support area. Okay, check out dito. Hoy, short-lived lang. Ano ba yan? This is the resistance. There's a slight overshoot above the MA20 line and it went down again. Che. Bakit naman? Ayan, sige na nga. Hintay pa rin tayo, guys. We'll just wait. Anyway, we're long term. Personally, I'm long term for this stock. So it might continue to challenge 553. Okay. So still on profit taking. They must have taken profit when it reached here. And it'll once again challenge the 550, 553 area. So that's it for Dito. Oh, we're in a 30-minute chart. 1 second. Pwede. Kaya red siya. No? I'll remove this for now because I didn't realize I was on a 30-minute chart. Still, we're stabilizing at the MA20 line, right? 553, 553 level. Still, that's a support area. So, for those people who are still considering to add more on their position, still this is a buy for me because we're still above the MA20 line. So, we probably it's just moving very, very slowly, but the trajectory is already moving up. So there you have it, guys. I hope I was able to give insightful views. Uh, I'm not a financial advisor. Uh, I'm not a financial advisor. I just do this as a way of studying myself. I too study and I use this medium so that I can record my thoughts. And after the market closes tomorrow, I would normally go back to my videos and it, contemplate and evaluate how the thought process went and those things that are accurate and those talks that moved according to my perspective, then I reinforce that in my trades. So maybe that's a best practice that you can apply as well. Okay, so in the meantime, thank you guys for watching and I hope you have subscribed. Bye bye for now.